Hello again, everybody, with Steve Stowe and Harry Carey back at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, where the Cubs will try to even up the series, reducing their magic number from the present 2 to what we hope will be 1, and maybe they'll clinch it tonight.
Dennis Martinez going to the mound for Montreal. He's given up 9 home runs in his last 60 innings of work. He's 2-1 against the Cubs this year, and Greg Maddux looking for victory number 19, which would be his career high. He's 2-1 against the Expos.
Let's say something about the Expos manager, Buck Rogers. It was announced today he will be back to fulfill the 3rd year of his contract in 1990.
He had a meeting with Dave Dombrowski, and they found out they were working on the same wavelength, and Buck Rogers has done a great job here. It's been a disappointing second half, but Harry, this is a quality manager and a quality man.
I'm happy to hear it because he's a nice man. All right, we'll be back with the lineups now in a moment. Hello again, everybody, with Steve Stone and Dwayne Stats, Harry Carey back in Montreal as we're ready to go with the second game of the series. The Cardinals at Pittsburgh are tied up 1-1 in the second inning. A Cardinal loss and a Cubs victory, that's all over. And the Cubs are, for the second time in the 1980s, the division champion. Here are the lineups for the Cubs. Wynn in center, Sandberg at second, Smith in left, Grace at first, Dawson in right, Salazar at third, Dunston the shortstop, Rick Rona catching, and Greg Maddux is the pitcher, shooting for his 19th win of the year. There's Buck Rogers. Just been announced he'll be back next year as a Montreal manager. Their lineup, Raines in left, Grissom in center, Galarraga at first, Brooks in right, Wallach at third, Foley at second, Santovenia the catcher, Owen the shortstop, and Dennis Martinez, who has won 16 while losing 6, will be the pitcher. The umpire, there you see Dutch Runner behind the plate, Ishram Oshkosh by gosh, Paul Runge at first, Fred Brocklander at second, and Bob Engel at third. We're ready to go. The magic number is a mere 2. What will it be after this night is over? I know what we all hope it'll be. There's the Expos defense.
Dennis Martinez going to the mound, and Dennis has won 16 games a couple of other times, back in 1978 when he was with Baltimore, and again at Baltimore in 1982. So he's going for his lifetime high, his 17th win tonight. He's been giving up the long ball lately, and that's uncharacteristic for Martinez, who throws a good curveball. He's got a slider to go with it. He's learned a little about the straight change since coming over here to Montreal, and he's got a good enough fastball. But it's been almost pinpoint control this year that's made Martinez 16-6. But look for a home run or two tonight. He's given up 9 home runs his last 60 innings, and this is a tough ballpark to hit the ball out of.
I tell you, Steve, I'd rather talk about Greg Maddux. Here's a kid only 23 years old, and listen to his improvement. His first year in the major league, he won 2. His second year in the major leagues, he won 6. Last year, his 3rd year in the major leagues, he won 18. Tonight, his 4th year at age 23, he's shooting for his 19th victory of the season. And if he gets it here tonight, he'll have a shot at 20 before the year is over. There's the Pittsburgh score we gave you before. 1-1 in the bottom of the second. You're looking also at Greg Maddux, with Mike Bilecki to his right, Mark Grace to his left. And we're ready to go. Veteran against a kid.
I like the attitude of Greg Maddux when he talked about the possibility of a 20-game season. He said, the only thing I care about at this point is the Cubs clinching the division. If I win 20, that's all well and good. But he said he would trade that right now for a shot at getting into the World Series by first getting into the playoffs. And that's a good attitude certainly to have for any youngster, but you have to keep things in perspective. And even though individual statistics are nice at contract time, it still is a team game, and this team looks like they're destined for the playoffs.
Here's Marvell Wynn to lead it off, hitting .248, 7 homers, 37 runs batted in. Held in check by Montreal last night. Dennis Martinez with his back to the plate, now turns around.
Marvell Wynn has 5 hits his last 4 starts, and he scored 5 runs. And like most leadoff men, if he gets on, he can make a pitcher's night miserable.
First pitch of the ball game. It's a high fastball, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Boy, that's a big wad of chewing tobacco he's got in it. Martinez out of Nicaragua. Ground ball to the shortstop. Spike Owen will throw him out. And they've held the Marvell Wynn now. That's a 0 for 6. He was 0 for 5 last night. Here is Ryan Sandberg. And he is shooting for his 86th consecutive game without an error.
Dennis Martinez has about the best control on this ball club. Only 47 walks in 223 innings. He's given up 21 homers, but that's because he's been around the plate quite a bit. And his walk to strikeout ratio very close to 3-to-1.
Martinez has won 2, lost 1 this year to the Cubs. In his lifetime, he's beaten the Cubs 6 times, lost to them only twice. So he's a tough pitcher. Sandberg. 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball low, ball 2. The Cardinals and the Pirates are evened up 1-1 in the bottom of the 2nd at Pittsburgh.
Dennis has such a good breaking ball that you hope he falls behind and have to come to you with a fastball. It looked like it might be the case here.
It was, but he fouls it off. 2 balls and the strike, 1 out. The Giants have already clinched at least a tie. Even though they lost last night, San Diego also lost. And if the Cubs would have run, that they kept pace, both would have clinched a tie last night. But now the Cubs' magic number is 2. 2 balls and the strike. High and inside. All 3. 3-1.
You're looking for a power pitch. This is a good pitch if Dennis doesn't get that fastball outside. Certainly doesn't want to walk Sandberg ahead of that man who is red hot.
Sandberg has hit 6 home runs against the Expos. It's a ground ball to Wallach. 2 out. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Dwight Smith hitting .239 against the Expos pitching with 9 out of 39. All told, he's hitting .320, 9 homers, 50 RBI. He's only, let's see. Sandberg, for example, played the whole season, almost 600 times at bat. Smith has had 328 times at bat. Well, that's a pretty good total of RBIs, 50, considering the time he's played. High fastball.
Smitty's also been red hot the last 21 games. Now, granted, he's 9 for his last 15. That pencils out to 600. But his last 21 games, which is a long stretch, he's hitting .456. That's why the batting average is up to a lofty .320.
2 balls, no strikes. He had a cut. 2 balls and a strike. Sean Dunston in the lineup tonight, and it's expected that Jerome Walton could play tomorrow.
Dwight Smith just looked back at Dutch Rennert and asked him if that was a strike. Not did he swing or not, he just wants to get some sort of an idea where the outside corner is for Dutch tonight.
There's the pitch. Foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Our well wishes go to Joe Moss tonight at St. Francis Hospital. Want to wish him a quick recovery. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A ground ball deflected. It might wind up a hit. The throw. It is a base hit. Dwight Smith deflected a hot smash off the glove of Dennis Martinez over to Wally. He threw too late.
Dennis Martinez makes a stab at this ball, but it hits off the end of the glove. And if you do this, there is no way in the world you can get Dwight Smith at first. This is a fine play by Wallach because he had to redirect the momentum of his body coming across. He barehanded the ball, got it over there, but not quite in time.
2 out, 1 on. Here's Mark Grace hitting .312.
Got a pretty good throwing catcher in Santavania. He ended the 50-game streak, 50 stolen base streak of Vince Coleman.
There's a pitch. A little bit inside. We're still 1-1. Cardinals batting the top of the third in Pittsburgh. Mr. and Mrs. Hall of LaGrange are here today, hoping to see the Cubs clinch it. Throw over to first.
Dennis Martinez has a very quick move to first. That certainly wasn't it, but he's got very quick feet. He takes some time to deliver the ball. He'll give the base runner a couple of steps, but you can't get that much of a lead because he can get it over there in a hurry.
Smith has 9 stolen bases. Curveball is in there, a strike call. Grace is 12 out of 37 against the Expos pitching, hitting .324 with 2 homers.
He said it's about time he took control of a ball game. He hasn't been doing it of late. So he's looking for a big night tonight against Martinez.
1-1 pitch over the first. Martinez set. Quick throw this time. But Dwight is back. A lot of Cub fans made the trip here. Gene and Pat Kubiak of Lake Forest. And there's a group of 110 people brought up by Phoebe Meadow. 1 ball, once they go Smith. And too bad, he had a great jump, but the pitcher's fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Anytime a runner's going, the catcher has got to come up out of his stance and get ready to deliver the ball. When he does that, he exposes his body. And that time, Santavania came up ready to throw, and Grace fouled the ball right off him. Now take a look at the pitch once again and watch Santavania. He's getting up, ready to throw, and he catches that right off the left shoulder.
That's right. You can't hurt a catcher. That old Spartan spirit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out. Runner at first. Andre Dawson is next. There goes Smith. He struck him out. He tried to check his swing, but he did not do so, and Dutch Renner called him out. So 1 in, 1 left. We go in the bottom of the first, no score. Harry Carey back in Montreal. We go into the bottom of the first. Tim Raines will lead it off. There you get a look at the Cubs defense. Raines hitting .211 against the Cubs pitching. Overall, he's hitting .283. Here's the first pitch by Matt. Swung on, ground ball. Dunston has it. 1 away. Took only 1 pitch to get rid of Rain. Hey, here's the guy, B.J. Marsh. Marsh traveled from Springfield, Missouri. He has a big crowd here. And here they are. They could be going to Pittsburgh to watch the Cardinals. Instead, they come to Montreal to watch the Cubs. Does that tell you something? B.J. Marsh traveled.
Maddox making his 35th start of the year, his 4th against the Expos. 2-1 this year against them, lifetime 6-5 with a pretty good ERA of .327.
Here's Grissom the pitch. A couple of young guys facing each other. Here's Greg Maddox, only 23, and Grissom's only 22.
He got burned by Grissom in Wrigley Field on a couple of fastballs. So he's got to be careful about a fastball in the inner portion.
Inside, 1-1. Grissom is out of Georgia, outside Atlanta, Red Oak. One out, nobody on. The Cardinals and the Pirates are tied 1-1 in the third. There's a ground ball right at Grace, easy out. 2 up, 2 down. And here is Andres Galarraga. I can't figure what's happened to this guy. For the year against the Cubs, he's hit only .219 with 14 out of 64. All told, he's hitting .257 for the year with 22 homers and 84 RBIs. And he has struck out about over 150 times. Galarraga has fanned 153 times this year.
Seems unbelievable, but there's only 2 major league pitchers that have won at least 18 games the last 2 years. Maddox and Dave Stewart of Oakland.
Here's a pitch a little bit inside, ball 2.
But that shows you that Greg Maddox is one of the premier pitchers in all of baseball and probably the most valuable commodity. A young man with a good arm that wins a lot.
There's a pitch a little bit outside, ball 3. Hubie Brooks would be next. Pirates batting bottom of the third, still tied up 1-1. A 3-0 pitch, Buck Rogers gave him the go-ahead, and he did not have a very good swing as he fouled the pitch off.
Well, he's the one power man in the lineup, a man with legitimate power to all fields here in Montreal. And so when you get a 3-0 pitch, you know a fastball's coming. Generally, you turn this guy loose.
3 balls and the strike. And he fouls it off. Now he's having trouble hitting the inside fastball.
That's what happens, Harry, when you get so aware of everybody throwing you away. You try to make an adjustment. You start looking away, and all of a sudden the pitchers change, and they start bearing the ball in on your hands.
Let me tell you what I think maybe's happened to Galarraga. Too much coaching. You got a slugger. He's doing well. You start working on him to make him even better, and you wind up ruining his swing. He still is hitting 22 home runs, but nowhere near the all-around hitter he's been the first 2 years we saw him.
I think what they have to do also, Harry, is get another left-hand hitter in this lineup, because like the Cubs are dominated by right-handers, consequently, they see many more right-handed breaking ballers than left-handers.
He struck him out. He tried to check his swing, and he's out on strikes. Number 154 at the end of 1 inning. No score. Harry Carey and Steve Stone back in Montreal. There's the update. 1-1. Cardinals batting, top of the 4th in Pittsburgh. Lee and Bev Donovan of Milwaukee here to cheer for the Cubs. Oh, a lot of Cub fans from all over on hand. Here's Dawson. First pitch high, ball 1. Now Dawson's only hitting 180 against his old teammates, but he's walloped 3 home runs against them. 9 out of 50. 1/3 of his hits have been home runs. Strike call. Looks like Dutch Renner's calling that inside corner.
And the hitters will have to adjust to that. Andre Dawson, commenting about this ballpark, said it was a great career here, but he feels if he had never left Montreal, his career would be over right now. And he'd have so many knee problems on the artificial surface, he wouldn't be able to play. So he thinks by coming to Wrigley Field, he extended his career.
Here's a pitch. He fouls it out of play into the stand. 1 ball, 2 strikes. John Mellon, Marty Lopez, and a group here from Chicago. They're here from Lake Forest. Pat and Gene Kubiak and Bevan Lee Donovan from Milwaukee, I mentioned before. And they're also here from Whiting, Indiana. George Justak country. Don and Paul Harding hoping to celebrate a Cubs clinch tonight. They're clinching the Eastern Division. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside. 2-2.
The medical report on Davey Martinez is pretty good. He injured himself last night, hauling down a drive that Andre Dawson hit, only to see it go for an inside-the-glove home run. And he doesn't have a broken shoulder. It's just slightly separated around the collarbone. He's going to be in a sling for 5 days, and he should be okay after that, and that's good news.
2-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Dawson goes down swinging. That brings up Luis Salazar, hitting .285 for the year. 5 out of 29 against the Expos, which is a .172 average.
If that curveball is any indication, Dennis Martinez is going to be a tough customer. That one just fell right off the table, and Andre Dawson had no chance. Cubs just have to hope that Martinez misses with that, because if he gets it over, it's a devastating pitch for him.
1 out, nobody on. Lauren McKernan from Iowa's here. Lauren McKernan, friend of Sharon Panazzo's. One out, nobody on. The pitch to Salazar. Look out. George and Perky Lockwood from Bridgewater Corners, Vermont. Die-hard Cub fans. They retired to Vermont from Illinois. And they came to Montreal to see the Cubs clinch it. 2 balls, no strikes. Strike called. Watch the way Dutch Renner genuflect before he calls the strike. 2 balls and the strike. Luis Salazar. Martinez going to be a tough cookie. So is Maddox. He swung and a miss. You know, Maddox's earned run average is 2.87. 2.82 rather, and Martinez for the year is 3.14. So both pitch good ball against the other team. Each is 2-1 for the year. Martinez 6-2 in his lifetime. Maddox 6-5 in his lifetime. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ooh, a curveball just missed. He walked it. Salazar gets the first base on balls, given up by Dennis Martinez. Harlan and Lois Schmo from Brandon and Ripon, Wisconsin are here to see the Cubs win their division. And so's Fred and Doris Goldman from Northbrook, Illinois.
Salazar doesn't have great speed. This is not a good running situation. And Dunstan's been on the shelf a few days. Let's see if he gets a fastball early in the count to swing at. When Martinez throws his fastball, more times than not, he'll throw it for a strike away. When he comes inside, it's always off the plate.
Sean Dunston hitting .316 against the Expos pitching. Overall, .281. Strike is called. See that? The way Renner called it. 0-1 the count. Well, Karen from Chicago wants her parents down in St. Petersburg, Florida, to know she's in Montreal tonight. Watching the Cubs, hoping they clinch it. Lead by Salazar. He started to swing. They're going to appeal. He did not go around. 1-1 the count. Bull and Mike Kotel from West Palm Beach, Florida are on hand.
This is a steady infield without great range except in first base. Galarraga's nicknamed the Cat.
Hey, Pirates lead 2-1 the fourth, still batting. 1-1 pitch. Over to first. Dan Michaels from Redford, Michigan is there. And so's Bernie Bacalar from Southfield, Michigan.
R.J. Reynolds on a ground out. Knocked in Bobby Bonilla with the go-ahead run.
Quick throw over the first. That Bonilla, I guess he's hitting just as well against the Cardinals, as he always does against the Cubs. Doesn't play any favorites. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, there are 4 sisters here from Chicago. Drove to Montreal, hoping to be here for the clinching. The pitch swung and he missed. Dorothy from El Toro, California. Beverly from Chesapeake, Virginia. Margie from Lansing, Illinois. Ginny from Fullerton, California. The girls of Zimmer, they say. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Did he hold up in time? Yes. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Marquise Grissom, taking over in center field for Dave Martinez, has made a couple of mistakes. They're not sure if he's adjusted quite yet to center field in the major leagues. He's got very good speed. There's no doubt about that. He throws the ball well, but he's misjudged a couple of balls in his young career, and we'll see if the Cubs can take advantage of that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on to throw. He's back. Dave Valerie and David Garlick are here from Chicagoland and Indianapolis with Phoebe Meadows' News Travel Tour, which includes about 110 people. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A bouncy, got a chance to beat it out. They're going to let it roll. It's going to go foul. Smart play by Dennis Martinez. He just started to reach for the ball. I don't know whether Santavenia yelled at him or whether he summed it up himself that it might go foul. Now he lets it throw.
It's really the only play that he's got.
For a while, it looked like it might stay there, but it slopes a little bit that way, and it's a foul ball.
Dunston still nursing a sore shoulder, but he felt it was good enough to play. On his first throw tonight, he didn't go all out. So you wonder if he's 100%. And the Cubs still waiting for Jerome Walton to get back in the lineup. He's still on a day-to-day basis.
There's a bunch throw from DeKalb, Illinois. 18 hours drive to Montreal. Tony Geem and Mike Brandon and Mike Dunzio. There's a smash to the second baseman. The only play they can get some force out. Dunston forced Salazar. Foley to Owen.
Now you're in a situation where you might want to run with Sean Dunston. You don't mind if Rona leads off the next inning if they do run with Dunston. If you leave Dunston at first base, Rona makes the last out, you lead off with Maddox. And although he's tied for the league lead in hits with 17, you'd rather lead off with Rona.
2 men out. Dunston, who's swiped 19 bases already. Jerome Walton leads the team. There we go. There's a smash. Fair ball down the left field line. Here's Dunston. He's got a chance to score. He does. It's a double for Rona. He's going to try for 3. He makes it a triple. Rick Rona must have been the hit and run. He tripled down the left field line into the corner, and the Cubs lead 1-0.
RBI number 12 as Rick Rona continues to do the job. He gets a first ball fastball with Dunston going, and you can see Bob Engel motioning fair. Dunston with great speed, scores without a play, and then Rona with the play in front of him decides that he can make it. He's got better than average speed for a catcher, and he's in with a triple. And how about that Rick Rona, his first triple of the year in a very big ball game.
And his 12th RBI of the year. And Rona has only been to bat 81 times. 12 RBI. 1-0, Chicago lead. Here now is Greg Maddox, the pitch. Curveball a little bit inside. Maddox has had 17 hits. Everybody in that Cub dugout excited about the first run. Maybe they getting any more tonight. Does a slow roller, throw to first. That ends the inning, but the Cubs are out in front. 1 run on 1 hit. A triple by Rick Rona. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Cubs. Harry Carey back in Montreal. The Cubs are leading 1-0 on Rick Rona's triple down the left field line. The Cardinals are losing 2-1. The Pirates still batting in the bottom of the third, so they may make more. Hubie Brooks will lead it off. He's hitting .259. There's a strike right down the middle. Mr. and Mrs. Richard Golden from Calumet City, Illinois. Here celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary, hoping to see the Cubs clinch it. Pitch is fouled off.
Brooks had a couple of doubles last night and then got hit in the head by Rick Sutcliffe on a breaking ball. He appeared to be okay, but then when he got to third base later in the inning, he was lifted. Apparently no ill effects on one of the 7 free agents the Expos will have to deal with at the end of this season.
0-2 the count. He had a good cut of the fastball, fouls it back. Well, some Colorado Cub fans are here. Virgil and Kitty Jensen from Loveland, Colorado.
Buck Rogers extended, brought back, even though he had a contract. It was up in the air, but happy to see him managing next year.
Here's a pitch. He's struck out. Strikeout number 2. Dramatic, going for his 19th win of the year. Last year he won 18. This year he's trying to win 20. He's had a great season. Earned run average 2.97.
He really doesn't know why he tired at the end of last year, but he said he feels strong right now.
There's a pitch a little bit low and outside. I'd have to say that Greg Maddux will pitch the first game of the playoffs at Wrigley Field against the Giants October the 4th, which is a Wednesday night. There's a pitch, foul back. In the bottom of the 5th, the Pirates now lead the Cardinals 2-1. Mr. and Mrs. Glenn Mizell from Lemoyne, Illinois. Here for the clincher. Hopefully. Here's the guy writes a note. One out. Here's a pitch. Foul out of play. He says, "Dear Harry, my new wife and I," well, that certainly sounds like they had a wife before, "are honeymooning in Montreal, hoping to see the Cubs clinch the division. Debbie and Joe Morey from Lisle, Illinois." There's a pitch a little bit outside. Morey. Lisle. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. I got to assume that he says, "My new wife and I are honeymooning." Sounds like maybe he shedded his old one. Well, that's baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He fouls it out of play. Wallach hitting .282 for the year, 12 homers, 76 RBI. Against Cub pitching, he's hitting .306.
It's been a tough year for Wallach as far as the power is concerned. He views himself as an alleys hitter. He's had a ton of doubles this year, but not a whole lot of home runs for him.
Here's a pitch outside. Hey, the Bulls' first game of the year on Channel 9, November the 3rd at 7:30. The Bulls versus Cleveland. Another great sports service. Here's a high pop fly. Sandberg is there. He has it. 2 men gone. Sandberg going for his 86th straight game. The record is 89, held by Manny Trio.
He can reach that record if he plays airless ball the rest of the year, and he's going to do it all on the artificial surface where he's especially tough. He's playing very deep for Tom Foley, who was a thorn in the side of the Cubs last night with a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs. Playing back to try to get the angle on the ground ball.
Pitch to Foley. A little bit wide. Foley is why they won the ball game last night. He drove in their first 2 runs, and then he opened up the 10th inning with a base hit. It turned out to be their winning run. That led to their winning run. Foley hitting only .228, but against the Cubs, he's hit .346. There's a hot smash in the right field, a base hit. Sandberg could not reach it to his left.
Foley proving very troublesome for the Cubs, and it wasn't long ago when he had won the job of starting shortstop in Cincinnati. But when Pete Rose took over in Cincinnati, he put Davey Concepcion back there on a full-time basis. Foley became expendable, made a stop in Philadelphia, now here in Montreal, and he continues to torment the Cubs.
I think if I were the Cubs, I'd talk to the other clubs and see how they pitched to Foley. There's quite a variance between hitting .346 against the Cubs, more now. 2 of his 7 home runs also have been against the Cubs, while hitting only .228 against the whole league. Here's Santovenia hitting .247 for the year. 1 ball, no strikes. He's hitting only .172 with a home run against the Cubs.
Early in the year, when the Cubs were talking trade with Montreal, one of the names that came up was Tom Foley. They wanted to give the Cubs Luis Rivera and pulled the name of Foley back off the table.
Okay. That's a foul ball outside third base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Steve Seaberg and Jerry Goose, G-U-S-E, from Marengo, Illinois, here to see the Cubs wrap up the Eastern Division title tonight. Fred Van Riet from Arlington Heights flew up here to hopefully see the clincher today. There's a drive into center field, a base hit. Runners are going to go from first to third. Runners at first and third with 2 out. And Santovenia singles at center. Foley racing around the third base, and that brings up Spike Owen.
Santovenia has all kinds of talent, but they haven't gotten the best out of him yet. They keep expecting him to take over and be their everyday catcher, but so far, Mike Fitzgerald is splitting the duties. They expect Santovenia to come back next year and fulfill all the promise that Buck Rogers, who is a former catcher, thinks Santovenia has in him.
Spike Owen hitting .238, 6 homers, 41 RBI. He fouls the first pitch back. Owen is only hitting .140 against the Cubs pitching staff. Only 7 hits and 50 times at bat.
To pass along best wishes and a speedy recovery to Perry Wall and Miko Hobart at the University of Iowa Hospital.
0-1 the count, 2 out, 2 on, 1-0 Cubs. A little bit. Hey, caught the inside corner. 0-2.
Dutch Renner
didn't like that call.
Dutch Renner will scream out the call right away, but it takes him some time to then turn around and signal it. Looked like it had the inside corner, and Maddox's fastball tails over the inside corner when he throws it at the left-hand hitter, and it fools him a lot of times.
0-2 the count. Struck him out! Again, he caught that inside corner. Spike Owen is out on strikes. 2 men are left on base. At the end of 2, the Cubs lead 1-0. Harry Carey and Steve Stone as we go into the top of the 3rd. Marvell Wynn will lead it off, looking for his first hit in this series. They stopped him 0 for 5 last night. He rolled out his first time up tonight. Barbara Fogue, his nephew Matthew Erickson's watching in Dayton, Ohio. She's from Foley, Alabama, watching the ballgame here in Montreal. There is Pascual Perez. Marvell Wynn. Pitch a little bit inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Jim Dowdle ahead of Continental Broadcasting. On hand, hoping to see the clincher. There's a pitch over the inside corner, strike call. And some of the other executives will try to get a list of them. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mike Bilecki will be looking for number 18 tomorrow night against Pascual Perez.
1-1 pitch. Bouncing ball to Wallach. That ought to be easy, and it is.
That pitch showed you if you have good enough rotation on your curveball, even when you throw a high curve, the hitter still beats it into the dirt. That pitch was up in the eyes of Marvell Wynn.
The Coneheads.
The Bagheads.
Are they Montreal fans? They must be.
They're starting a very small wave right now.
Hey, they might look better with that contraption on their face than they do ordinarily. Here's a curve strike call. Sandberg bounced out his first time. Pittsburgh is leading 2-1 in the top of the 5th over the Cardinals in Pittsburgh. Well, just think. Everybody in April was hopeful. They're all fallen by the wayside with the exception of the Cardinals, who are almost dead, and the Cubs. There's a high fly ball. Hubie Brooks will make the catch. He does.
Dennis Martinez resurrected his career. He was traded over here, and they didn't think too highly of him. So much so that they allowed him to go into the free agent market. He had no takers in the free agent market, despite the fact that he threw the ball very well for Montreal. He came back, and now he's established himself as one of the premier pitchers in the National League.
Boy, what a difference a year makes. Last year, the Cubs finished with 77 victories. Tonight, they're shooting for their 90th. Dwight Smith was singled his first time. 0-1 the count, 2 out, 1-0 Cubs. Fouls it out of play, outside third base. Mike Bilecki, you see him in the front there. There's Les Lancaster, Vance Law going down the line. There's Greg Smith, rookie infielder. Damon Barrio, Jeff Pico, Sean Dunston, Joe Girardi. There's Sandberg. You'll see them all later. Smith strikes out. 1-2-3. We go on the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 in favor of the Cubs. Harry Carey back to the ballpark. Kevin Gross, right-handed pitcher of the Expos. You were looking at him there a moment ago. Here's Dennis Martinez. 9 out of 70 for the year. There's a ground ball right to Dunston. He's got it. Throws them out. One away. There's Tim Raines. He tapped out his first time.
Tim Raines and Andre Dawson talking with one another before the game, reminiscing some old times. They're still the best of friends. Andre apparently likes to come back and hit in this ballpark, although he hasn't had a great deal of success. He has at hitting the ball out of the park here.
1 out, nobody on. 1-0 in favor of the Cubs. The Cardinals are losing 2-1 in the 5th in Pittsburgh. There's a line drive in the left field. It's a base hit. There goes Reeves on his way to second base. A double for Raines. He swung at the first pitch his first time, and he swung at the first pitch this time. But this time he gets a double.
Double number 29 for Tim Raines. He's got great speed. The only mystery is why he doesn't show it in the stolen base department. He's got 39 this year, but here's a man capable of stealing 80. And Maddox will have to keep a close eye on him at second base.
1 out, 1 on. And here's Marquise Grissom, the 22-year-old rookie. Bounced out his first time up. Maddox delivered. Third, low and outside.
The three names always mentioned when everybody talks to Montreal in a trade is Marquise Grissom, Delino DeShields, and Larry Walker. So far, Dave Dombrowski has not parted with any of these three guys. He thinks they're the future of this ball club.
Cardinals now batting the 6th, trailing 2-1. Pitch a little bit outside, apparently. Oh, they appeal, and they call it a strike. That evens it up. A ball and a strike, 1 out, 1 on. Toronto leading in Detroit 2-0. The Milwaukee game at Baltimore just starting. Only one game separates Toronto and Detroit, with Toronto leading. There's a high fly ball, will be caught. And Raines is not going anywhere. He knows his old buddy's got a shotgun of an arm. Grissom flat out to Dawson. That brings him Andre Galarraga.
He wants him to go. Andre said, why don't you challenge me? Tim Raines said, I've seen you throw too many times, big guy. I'm not going to get cut down to end the inning.
Cardinals didn't do anything in the 6th. The Pirates lead 2-1. There's Galarraga. Arnie has a phone contact with Pittsburgh. Will know everything that happens there. Nice save by Rick Rona. Well, I tell you, I don't know how you can decide between Rona and Girardi. They both have done such a wonderful job. And, of course, the catcher who's considered number 1 is the boy who was hurt and on the disabled list, Damon Berryhill. So there's 3 excellent young catchers. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 out. There goes Raines. There's a peg. Hey, nobody colored. Raines beats Salazar to the bag. It's a good thing Rona's throw went right to where Salazar was standing.
Stolen base number 40, and Luis Salazar just falls asleep. He doesn't break, and Raines steals it almost uncontested.
Well, they wouldn't have thrown him out anyway. He had a great jump. 2 balls, no strikes. 40 stolen bases for Tim Raines. Sounds like a lot, but for him it's nothing. Oh, he swings and he misses. 2 balls and a strike.
If he's going to go into Galarraga, he's got to go way in. You can get him out in there. The bat isn't quite as fast as it was early in the year. And Maddox has thrown 5 wild pitches. Rona's going to have to be on his toes.
2 balls and a strike. He swings and he fouls it off. 2-2. Galarraga hitting only .219 against the Cubs pitching staff this year.
The RBI is respectable. Last year he only had 92, despite the fact he hit .302. This year the batting average in the 250s. But he's within range with 84 RBIs. Maddox would like to keep it at that 84 mark.
2-2. Hey, struck him out. And no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Dwayne will be coming along in a moment. This is Harry Carey in Montreal. We're at the end of 3. The Cubs are out in front, 1-0.
We're at Olympic Stadium in Montreal with Steve Stone and our producer-director, Artie Harris. This is Dwayne Stantz. Cubs out in front 1-0. A dandy pitching matchup. Martinez and Maddox tonight.
So far, Greg Maddox is throwing the ball exceptionally well. Andres Galarraga looks like he just has no idea where the strike zone is, and the Cubs hoping that that trend continues.
And Mark Grace will step in to open the 4th inning. It's a piece of it foul, strike 1. Grace followed by Dawson, and then Salazar. The Cub run came in the 2nd on a triple by Rick Rona, his first triple. Martinez. Picks up a strike on the inside edge.
A little colder here in the Dome tonight. They think it might get down to 32 in Montreal this evening. And you don't get much relief in here. Once the cold air gets in here, it doesn't go anywhere.
That's a tap foul. So the count holds on Mark. Grace is 4th in the National League in hitting. His average is .312.
That batting race just heating up. 2 points separate Will Clark at .335 from Tony Gwynn's .333, and they will go head-to-head the last series of the year. Might not mean anything in the standings, but you know that Gwynn's going to try to turn it on and catch Clark.
A ball, 2 strikes. The Cub magic number is 2. Leading tonight 1-0. This one fouled out of play. So the count is still a ball, 2 strikes.
Arnie Harris and Don Zimmer, along with Joe Altobelli, taking in some of the local scenery, crossed the border, and they were stopped by a policeman on the other side. They thought they were going to get a ticket.
A suspicious-looking crew, no doubt.
Well, the policeman was a big Cub fan and wanted Zim to give him an autograph. He traded him a Border Patrol hat for an autograph, and there's Cub fans everywhere. Boy, there must be a good library on the other side of the border.
That reading room again, huh?
Oh, yeah. These guys are relentless in their pursuit of good literature.
There's a ball inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see, how do you spell literature?
OTB, is that the first 3 letters?
Oh, that book.
That's what Arnie says.
2-2 the count. Grace lifts it into short left center. Owen out. Grissom in. So is Raines. And Raines cutting in. Tim Raines cutting across from left. Came up with the short fly ball into left center field by Grace.
Raines has got great speed, and he put it to good use that time, taking a base hit away from Mark Grace. Grissom got a late jump on the ball, and Raines, flying across, made the play.
Here's Andre Dawson. Andre struck out on a breaking ball his first time up. We're looking at a man who loves to throw the breaking ball, Dennis Martinez, tonight. Andre takes it into right field. Catchable for Brooks. 2 gone.
Most amazing thing about Dennis Martinez is he had this stuff his whole career. Even as a young man, he threw the fastball maybe a little harder, but not much. The difference is he's now able to adjust. On days when he doesn't have his great stuff, he's able to get by because he's added a good straight change that to this point he hasn't needed tonight. With Baltimore, when he had his great stuff, he beat everybody. But on days when he was a little less than his best, they would beat him. Now it's just the opposite. He is able to get by most all the time, as that 16-6 record would indicate.
Here's Luis Salazar taking a strike. Give you an idea how much he likes that breaking ball. He went 3-2 with Salazar in the 2nd inning and threw him a curveball to walk him. That's not altogether unusual for Martinez. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases empty, 2 gone. Cubs with a run on 2 hits. The Expos no runs, 3 hits. Look out, up and in. 2-1.
They've done done a lot to Luis in this series. They buzzed him one time last night. Martinez has already done it twice. So apparently the game plan for Montreal is to zip one under his chin and then throw the breaking ball away from him.
Two 2-1 to count. Luis fouls it back, so we go to 2-2. Cubs and the Expos, 8-8 in the season series. Cubs so far up here, 2-5 on the year, and they've been outscored in this season series, 53-39.
Pirates are threatening with a man at third base and one out. Hill is gone from the game, and Ricky Horton has come in for St. Louis, so that's good news.
And there is a strike call at the knees on the outside corner to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Cubs. Hubie Brooks fouls away the first pitch. Foul ball up the right side. Strike one. Bottom of the fourth inning is underway at Olympic Stadium. Brooks hitting the head with a breaking ball last night. Made it all the way to third eventually, and then left for a pinch runner. Back in the lineup tonight.
Hubie Brooks the last few years was the best clutch hitter on this club, the best two-strike hitter, and the best two-out hitter. And that's why it's a mystery to everybody around here why Hubie's having a down year. He's always been able to hit the breaking ball. A lot of people feel it's emotional. There are some people who can play in their option year without a contract, and Hubie falls into that category. Some people just can't. They get carried away with some of the emotions of the situation, and they feel this year, his option year, has been an emotional year for him.
The pitch misses, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the Expos at least had the opportunity to have a very emotional team. A ball, 2 strikes with all the potential free agents they have. And Jerome Walton. Tonight's the 7th game he's missed with the tight hamstring. And Brooks is out reaching, out on strikes for the 2nd straight time, and that's 5 strikeouts posted for Maddox.
Here's Mike Fitzgerald. He usually would catch Dennis Martinez. Vance Law, an ex-Expo, a current Cub, very happy to be in that dugout. Andres Galarraga really struggling, sitting next to a man with no teeth.
And Tim Wallach up there takes the first pitch up and in. Joe Girardi, what a great job he's done, along with Rick Rona. We've seen Rona come up with that big hit tonight.
There's the big question mark, Mark Langston. What are they going to do with him, and what is he going to do when this season's over? He said he'd be more apt to stay here if he could play on a winning team. And it looked very good for a while until Montreal coasted into Chicago on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of August and left town 3 games back after the sweep.
The 1-1 is high. 2 balls and a strike. There's an update. The Pirates have picked up an additional run. 3-1 Pittsburgh in the bottom of the 6th. Ricky Horton on in relief of Ken Hill. Bob Patterson pitching for the Pirates. Tap third base side. Salazar takes care of Wallach. 2 gone. Paul Ossenmacher in the Cub dugout looking on.
Jim Dwyer, a man who came up with a big hit last night, and Jeff King came up with a big hit. He's the man who scored Bobby Bonilla. Bonilla has now scored 2 runs, and at 3-1, Pittsburgh leading the game in the bottom of the 6th, and they're still hitting.
Here's Tom Foley. Foley singled into right field in the 2nd inning, picking up the first Expo hit. There's ball 1. Well, the Expos have to go about attempting to sign Langston and Bryn Smith, who pitched last night, Pascual Perez, Andy McGaffigan, Hubie Brooks. There's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, and Jim Dwyer. They're through 6 now, and the Pirates lead 3-1, with the Cardinals hitting in the top of the 7th. There's a strike. 2 balls and a strike.
Foley is usually a dead pull hitter. He's made the most of that against the Cubs in this series. Grace and Sandberg very deep on the right side.
And he chops it to the right side. Grace with Maddox covering. That takes care of Montreal in the 4th. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 4, 1-0 Cubs. Moving into the 5th with the Cubs holding a 1-0 lead. Sean Dunston will open it. Dunston, Rona, and then Maddox against Dennis Martinez. Sean back in the lineup. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time. Takes the pitch for a ball. He was breaking when Rona tripled up the left field line. So Dunston has the only run scored tonight.
You gotta hope that Dennis Martinez falls behind, because that negates his breaking ball. Then he has to come to you with a fastball that's good but not great.
And the count goes to 2-0 on Dunston.
This is a pitch you really don't want to take, because if you do and it's a strike, then he's got the curve and slider ready to go again. Right now he's got to come in, especially with Dunston, because you walk this guy and you might see what happened the last time. With his great speed, he can really take advantage of Dennis's slow move home.
A 2-ball, no strike count. And he takes a strike. So we go to 2-1. Martinez made a pretty good pitch there.
There was no doubt that Dunston really couldn't swing at that. He thought it was low anyway, but that's a pitcher's pitch. It was on the outside corner. It was down just a shade below the knee. Close enough certainly to be called a strike, but not a pitch you want to swing at when you're ahead of the pitcher.
Dunston pops it foul. Santovenia starts to chase it, but he has no chance. Well out of play. And the count is 2-2. The Cubs, since the All-Star game against the East, have gone 26-14. And against the teams they had to beat, St. Louis, New York, and Montreal, they've gone 15-5 to this point. White Smith looking on. He's played a big role in this year's success story. Dunston, a chop. This is going to be tough. No chance. They're going to let it bounce, but it's going to stay fair. So an AstroTurf chop, and Dunston has himself a base hit. It's his 3rd hit.
Sean did that the first time up, but they let it roll foul. That time it was in the middle of the diamond. No chance to let it roll foul.
So Domingo Ramos looking on. Boy, what a role he played on this club, especially early.
Tim Wallach bending over to make an adjustment. He's had a bad knee, so he's got limited range at third base. We wonder how long the knee's going to hold up. So far there hasn't been a lot of pressure on him. But on the ball that Rona hit down the line, Wallach didn't get close to it.
Dunston at first with the 3rd Cub hit of the ball game. Rona at the plate. And he fouls one, trying to go the other way. That's strike 1. Dunston with 19 steals. And you can get a jump on Martinez. He sets up high, but takes a little time unloading the ball.
What you have to look for is a very quick move to first. If he doesn't make the move to first, then he gives every base runner about another step and a half with the high leg kick. There was a time early in his career when he worked on the leg kick, trying to combat the base runners, but he couldn't get anybody out. So he went back to the high leg kick. Now he's fairly easy to steal against.
Pitch out, but nothing doing. Buck Rogers doing a little guessing. Buck Rogers, by the way, will be back to manage the Montreal club next year. They made that announcement today.
There's a man that should be back for a few more years after the job that he's done this year.
Rogers said he felt that the Expos and approaching next year had to approach it as if they were a 6th place club. So they're going to finish 4th, but another pitch out. But he said the way they have played in August and in September, they just have not played well at all, and they have to evaluate the team as if it were a 6th place team. Pirates batting in the bottom of the 7th, leading 3-1.
That means St. Louis has just 2 more at-bats, 6 outs, to reduce the magic number of the Cubs to just 1. That would ensure at least a tie, regardless of what the Cubs do here tonight.
2-1 to count. Dunston back in at first.
Well, Buck Rogers said that cool heads will have to prevail. It'll be easy to get caught up in the emotion of a bad year and want to make wholesale changes when the season's over. But they'll know a lot more about their club because you can declare your free agency 15 days after the World Series. And there will be a few of these guys declaring that free agency here in Montreal.
Sean back in again. Dunston 4 out of 5 in the steal department against Montreal. Dunston climbing back up. He's going on the 2-1, and it's popped up. Foul, and will be out of play. So the count squares at 2-2.
I would think if he wants to go again 2-2, it wouldn't be a bad idea. If you get a curveball with Martinez trying to wipe out Rona, that's a good pitch to run on. If he decides not to throw the curveball, odds are Rona's going to make some contact on the fastball. So let's see if Dunston is off and running once again, looking for his 20th stolen base.
Sean is open with the infield single on the chop. And the count 2-2 on Rona.
Sean wants the signs again from Chuck Cartier, and Rona is going to step out. You know it's a little chilly in the dome when you see Nelson Santavina continually blowing into his hand to try to get a little circulation for that throw to second base.
And the umpires had indicated to both pitchers tonight that they could blow into that pitching hand if they wanted to on the mound. That's how chilly it is here inside Olympic Stadium under the roof. 2-2 the count.
No sense putting in any heating system because I think it costs, what, $1.5 billion anyway?
How about a heat pump? 2-2 foul. So Dunston still at first. Rona the difference in this game. He picked up his first triple. Back in the second inning. That scored Dunston from first.
We've got the Cub brain trust to our left. We've got Jim Fry, Don Granesco, Peter Durso, all talking over the ball game as you look at the Cub bench.
Marvell Wynn and Luis Salazar down there, 2 key acquisitions from San Diego. Runners going. The pitch, a swing and a miss at the ball in the dirt. Out at second. Dunston caught stealing. On the pitch, down and away. Rona threw his bat at the ball to strike out. And Dunston is caught stealing for the 11th time this year. Here it is.
This is a great throw by Santavina. Looked like he was in. Fred Brocklander said they got him. But that throw from an unusual position, pretty close to on the money, and Sean Dunston called out.
So the bases are empty with 2 gone for Maddox. Gregg shoots one foul up the right side, strike 1.
Last year, Maddox led the National League in hitting with 19 hits. This year, he's got 17 to tie him with David Cohn. So he'd like another hit to break that logjam, maybe get the Cubs another run.
A strike to count on him. Up there with the bases empty now. And he pops it up on the infield. Spike Owen takes care of it, and the Cubs are out in the 5th. No runs, 1 hit. They lose the base runner, nobody left. Bottom of the 5th coming with the Cubs out in front, 1-0. Bottom of the 5th, the Cubs are leading 1-0, and Nelson Santavina leads off by fouling the first pitch out of play. Cardinals have changed pitchers in the 7th inning. Ted Power is in there. With the Pirates leading 3-1, Pittsburgh has a man at third with 2 gone.
Go Buccos.
Santavina, followed by Owen and then Martinez. He just missed there. A ball and a strike.
Santavina from Miami says he's not going to go to winter ball this year. Said it's been a traveling year. for not only him but his family. He says he wants to get reacquainted with his family in the wintertime.
And the pitch is up, 2-1. They've scored another run, the Pirates have. And they take a 4-1 lead now in the bottom of the 7th.
A double by Jay Bell scored Jose Lean. Man on second, still 2 out. They're still in the bottom of the 7th with that 3-run lead.
The 2-1. A chop toward third. Tough play. Salazar tried to stay with it, but the ball rolls all the way back to the mound. And Santovenia is aboard. It'll be an error charge to Salazar. That's his 10th of the year.
It could have stayed back with Santovenia going down the line, but Salazar decided to charge this ball. Just comes up and he boots it.
So the Expos have the leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight on the error here in the 5th. Here's Spike Owen. Owen called out on strikes his first time when Maddox worked over the inside edge. The pitch is a ball. 1-0 the count on Owen. The Expos have signed him through 1992. They feel he has solidified their infield situation at shortstop. A ball, no strikes. 2-0 the count.
There's a lot of managers that don't necessarily need a flashy shortstop, but they want a steady shortstop that makes all the plays. You know, you look at Jose Uribe with San Francisco, he's that kind of a shortstop. So is Spike Owen. He will make all the plays. He doesn't have the greatest arm. He just gets rid of the ball quickly. And he gets a key hit occasionally for them.
Bounces one foul. 2 balls and a strike. The Expos at one time this year were 19 games over 500. Right now they're 81 and 76. Their low point was 2 under 500. For the last couple months they went 11 and 17 in August. They're 9 and 15 in September.
Well, they call him Dealing Dave up here, and Dave Dombrowski's got his work cut out for him.
2-1, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Well, and as they went into the Eastern Division in that last 26-game stretch, they simply did not fare well. They are 21 games in, 8 and 13 in that stretch. Pirates settled for a run, so at the end of 7, it's 4-1 Pittsburgh. And strike on that corner. Well, Maddox had great success on a couple pitches in there back in the 2nd inning. He got a call strike 2 on Owen and then got him looking. So he goes back in this time to go 3-2 on it.
Owen is giving up on the fastball that looks like it's going to be inside before tailing back over the plate. Let's see if Maddox goes in there one more time. This is a good double play situation. If Maddox can get the ground ball, Santovenia's got no speed at all.
Ground ball first. Grace goes down to second out there and back to first, not in time. Santovenia out Grace to Dunston. Owen reaching on a fielder's choice. He's at first with 1 out for the pitcher.
Mark was about a step closer to the bag. He could have stepped on first and then thrown a second. But being that far away, he figures to cut down the leading man and take your chances on the double play. And of course, that didn't happen. So Dennis Martinez being talked to by Jackie Moore, talking about the bunt, no doubt.
He has 8 sacrifices for the year.
Maddox wants to throw a high fastball, at least on the first pitch, trying to get the pop-up.
Runner at first, 1 gone. Martinez has 9 hits to go with the 8 sacrifice bunts. He bunts, picked up by Maddox. He gets the tag. Down to second base goes Owen. So the sacrifice put down by Dennis Martinez, 1 unassisted. 2 outs with Owen at second for the top of the batting order. Tim Raines, who doubled in the 3rd, giving him 1 for 2.
Raines a dangerous hitter. Now you've got first base open and a rookie up next in Marquise Grissom. So I don't say intentionally walk Raines, because you certainly don't want to put the go-ahead run on. But if you're going to pitch him away, then set the defense that way. Raines won't pull the ball if it's out away from him. He will go to left and left center field. But he probably would like to nip at the corner a couple times early to see if Raines, maybe a little over anxious with the tying run on base, might help him out by expanding his strike zone.
Raines sets up well off the plate. And the first pitch is inside. The double for Raines in the third was up the left field line. And on the very back line of the batter's box. Right side for Grace. Maddox covers, and that will take care of the Expos in the fifth. No runs, an error, and a man left. We've gone through 5, 1-0 Cubs. Ball game moving into the 6th inning. With Steve Stone, Artie Harris, Harry Carey. This is Dwayne Stats from Olympic Stadium. Marvell Wynn, the top of the Cub batting order, will lead it off. It's going to be Wynn, Brian Sandberg, and then Dwight Smith. With the Cubs leading here 1-0. Wynn has bounced to short and to third. Dennis Martinez delivers and misses on the first one. Ball 1. Martinez has struck out 5 and walked 1.
Third time through the order, and the Cubs should know exactly how Dennis Martinez's fastball is working and his breaking ball and what to lay off of. So let's see if they can give Maddox a little insurance here, put a little daylight between themselves and the Expos, but make things a lot easier going into the final innings of this one.
This one high. 2-0, the Pirates leading this St. Louis ball club. 4-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Pirates over the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cubs' magic number 2 starting the night. 3-0 the count.
Ken Daly starting the 8th inning. The St. Louis down to their final 3 outs.
Wynn way ahead in this count. 3-0. Martinez has 3 decisions against the Cubs this year. He is 2-1. He beat Scott Sanderson 3-2 back in April and shut out Sanderson 5-0 in June. He throws a strike. It's 3-1, and then lost to the Cubs in August. Mike Bilecki beat him 4-2. Bilecki scheduled to pitch tomorrow night for the Cubs. And the Expos are undecided. There's a strike when trying to coax the walk out of Dutch Rennert. But Rennert won't go for it, and the count is full.
The only walk that Martinez has issued tonight wound up turning into a run in the 2nd inning. Dunston grounded into a force out. Salazar was a man he walked, and Dunston scored the run.
Fly ball back into center, and Grissom under it. Marquise Grissom makes the catch. 1 out in the 6th.
I think the Expo pitchers all have the same complaint, really, and that's lack of support by the offense. This was a team, when you looked up and down their lineup, you figured they'd score a lot of runs. It hasn't worked out that way, and that's put even more pressure on a very good starting rotation. Their problem has been in middle relief, but that's been solved a lot by the addition of Zane Smith. The offense just does not come alive for Montreal.
Rhino, 0-2. He lines this one into deep left. That ball is off the wall. Extra bases. Sandberg digging for 2, and he's going to make it. A double for Sandberg, his 25th of the year. Ryne Sandberg with a solid line drive gives the Cubs a chance to pick up another run.
It's a shame he didn't get this ball up a little higher, because it's a rocket over the head of Raines. He can do nothing but wait for the carom off the wall, and Rhino in at second base easily. He hit that ball right on the nose.
Now Dwight Smith, who picked up an infield hit his first time up there, 1 out of 2. Up with a chance to add to the Cub lead. It's a 1-run ball game. Dwight hitless last night in the first game of this series, 0 for 3 before he was lifted for a pinch hitter. He has been swinging a very hot bat coming into this game, 9 of his last 15. And he takes ball 1.
They've tried to do everything with Smith. For a while, they kept throwing him low breaking balls. Then he adjusted to that. They started trying to jam him, and he opened up a little more quickly and adjusted to that. And he's shown that he can adjust from at bat to at bat, which is most unusual for a young hitter. That's what's kept him right around the 320 mark.
He's hit over 450 for the last 3 weeks. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike.
That time, Dennis Martinez did to him exactly what Greg Maddux did to Tim Raines to get out of that 5th inning, and that was throw a good straight change. Maddux couldn't have picked a better time for his first straight change of the night, and he completely fooled Raines, who tapped out easily.
1-1 the count. Comes back with a fastball following the change, and now the count's 1-2. Now you look for the breaking stuff.
I would think he'd go with another high fastball tight. Let's see what Dennis has in mind.
A ball, 2 strikes. Missed away, and the count is 2-2.
Dennis was viewed by Earl Weaver as the next Jim Palmer in his early days with Baltimore. They were very patient with him, but eventually they gave up. He had some personal problems. He's over those now, and realizing that great potential he always had with the Orioles.
The 2-2, looper into left. That's going to fall for a base hit. A big AstroTurf hop, and Sandberg will score to make it a 2-0 ball game. Smith drops a single in front of Raines in left, and the Cubs pick up their 2nd run. RBI number 51 for Smith.
Jim Fry, to our left, was yelling base hit all the way, hoping that Sandberg would take off. He didn't have to hurry all that much, because when it hit the artificial surface, it bounced way high over the head of Raines, and Dwight Smith has come through again.
Now the Cubs are trying to finish this thing tonight. Picking up another run in the 6th. And here's Mark Grace. Grace 0 for 2. Pitch out, but the Cubs are running. Here's that base hit.
It's another straight change by Dennis Martinez, only this time Dwight Smith hits it just hard enough to dump it into left field.
A ball, no strikes. Grace back in. Threw the breaking ball and missed 2-0. His breaking ball has not been very good in this inning. He's only thrown it a few times, but has not been very sharp with it.
He's only completed 4 games this year, and that's cause for concern, because if an Expos starter doesn't get into the 8th inning, they've got to turn it over to middle relief, and that's been suspect for them. They've got Tim Burke, a great stopper, as we saw last night. If you don't get the game to him, they've got problems.
Smith back in at first. Smith 9 out of 12 in the steal department. A 2-ball, no strike count on Grace. A run home in the 6th. A double by Sandberg and the single by Smith. And Grace out in front. Snap throw to first. 1 hops in. Galarraga flags it down. And the count's 2-1. We've seen that changeup this inning more than the breaking ball.
I think he realizes that little something is off the curveball, and he's gone to the straight change. Galarraga making a fine play. Andres, a candidate for the Gold Glove, has got 11 errors this year. Mark Grace with just 6, and he's got a legitimate shot at the Gold Glove at first base. And a foul ball.
it squares out 2-2 here on Grace. 2 runs, 5 hits off Martinez. The Cub dugout looking on.
Will there be a little champagne in their future this evening? We'll know about Pittsburgh fairly soon. And then it'll be up to the Cubs to take care of business here under the dome.
A 2-2 count to Grace. Go to first. Smith back in. Well, if the Cubs do it, they're going to beat a pretty tough right-hander. And through 5 innings, he was extremely tough. The Cubs have a run off him in the 6th. He misses down and in. So we go to 3-2. He just hasn't been able to throw the breaking ball for a strike when he can throw it. He's attempted to throw a couple of them, but just didn't do anything. It got completely away from him.
Now Dwight Smith is going to have to be very careful to watch the quick pickoff move. You got to figure Smith is going to be going. And a pitcher with a good move might try to catch him leaning the other way.
Full count. Martinez setting up high and holding the ball for a long time, waiting to see if Smith might give him a little indication and commit himself too soon.
Dwayne, despite the fact that he sets up high, he still has to drop his hands to deliver the ball. And that's when the guy gets the extra step.
Another throw to first, and Smith is back in. And that's what we talked about earlier. He has a quick move to first, but because he sets up so high, he does take a lot of time unloading the ball.
That was a crafty move by Martinez. He stepped back off the mound, which alert most hitters that the move is not coming, and then quickly pours it over to first. And Dwight Smith did a good job of getting back in. Martinez with the quick feet on the mound. Let's see if Grace can make a little contact. On a double, Smith is sure to score.
He's going, and the 3-2 lined up the right side, but just foul. Grace made a bid for an extra base hit, and you can see it on his face.
And Dwight Smith was almost at second base by the time that ball just missed the chalk line. He would have scored easily. The call by Paul Runge, he's straddling the line, and you see it just foul.
So Smith returns to first, and Grace comes back to the batter's box. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Cubs, no runs, 3 hits for the Expos.
I love my job.
Runner goes, and a liner into right for a base hit. Brooks with a pickup. Smith's on his way to third. The throw into second. So the Cubs have come up with 3 consecutive hits in the 6th inning. They have 6 hits in the game, half of them here in this frame. Grace at first with Smith at third, and Dawson on his way to the plate.
And the dugout starting to come alive. They sense what's on the line here, and they know they're getting closer with every base hit. Mark Grace doing the job, takes that breaking ball, and it's a good one from Martinez. But early in the game, it was breaking very sharply. Now it's starting to roll. And when a curveball starts to roll, a hitter sees it all the way and can judge just where to take that swing. So Scott Sanderson looking at his former mates, hoping they'll give way tonight and open it up for the championship for the Cubs.
Andre Dawson, nothing of 251 on the year with 21 home runs. Check swing. He didn't mean to hit it. Back to second, out there. First base, 2. They get the double play, and that retires the side. The ball came in on him. He didn't mean to hit it, but rolls into a double play, and the Cubs settle for a run in the frame. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Cubs. Marquise Grissom bounces the first pitch foul. Strike 1. They're in the 9th. Cardinals batting in the top of the 9th with the Pirates leading 4-1.
It's Bill Landrum, the stopper for Pittsburgh, starting the 9th inning. And he's facing Ozzie Smith as we speak.
A strike to count. And a Grissom. So Grissom is on with an infield hit for the second straight inning. The Expos have the leadoff man on.
Fine effort by Maddox, who can't do anything with it, but try the jump pass and getting it there an eyelash too late. Grissom with great speed. Andres starting to hear the boo birds here in Montreal. They're disappointed with his 155 strikeouts this year.
Andres Galarraga, the hitter, he is 0 for 2. He was called out on strikes in the first. Struck out swinging in the third inning.
They call him the gentle giant. So far he's been the sleeping giant, and the Cubs hoping that they don't wake him up because he's got great power.
And a base hit into right. Grissom will go to third as Dawson comes up with the ball. And the Expos come right back with back-to-back hits in the sixth inning. So the Cubs picked up a run in the top half of this frame, missed an opportunity on the double play which ended the top of the sixth. Now a threat for the Expos.
Andres goes the other way. The fastball was up from Maddox, and now you've got a man due up who's grounded into 15 double plays this year in Hubie Brooks.
Brooks, like Galarraga, has struck out twice. Brooks with nobody out. Tim Wallach will follow him. Big cut on the pitch in. Strike one. Ozzie Smith just hit a fly ball. He's gone. One gone. And Pedro Guerrero is up. 4-1. Pittsburgh leading the Cardinals in the ninth. Comes inside again for a ball this time. Assenmacher and Wilkins throwing in the Cubs bullpen. 1-1 the count. Inside. 2-1. Cubs are leading 2-0 here in Montreal. The Pirates are leading the Cardinals 4-1 in Pittsburgh.
Cubs will trade the double play for the run right here if they can get the ground ball off the bat of Brooks. He's going to go back inside with the fastball again.
And a base hit out of the reach of Dunston. Grissom scores to make it 2-1. An RBI single for Brooks. Maddox got the pitch out over the plate.
That shows he might be tiring some because he was getting everything inside earlier. And that ball high and out over the plate. RBI 66 for Hubie Brooks.
Runners at first and second, still nobody out. And Tim Wallach will be the hitter. Wallach, nothing out of 2. So the difference in this game right now, the run scored with the Cubs in the top of the inning. And Don Zimmer is on his way to the mound with the bullpen busy. Wilkins and Assenmacher busy in the left field bullpen.
Craig's got a couple of his pitches up this inning, and he's paid the price for it. And getting to the time of the year now where when you lose it in a hurry because of some tired arms out there on the staff. Now he's explaining something to Maddox, which means that he's going to leave him in the ball game. Probably still talking about the lead and the double play. Put everything else out of your mind and start with this hitter right here. In this case, Tim Wallach, who, like Hubie Brooks, is a good double play target. He's grounded into 20 of them this year, far and away leading his ball club in that department.
So Zimmer just now departing after a long conversation out there before the Cubs pitched to Tim Wallach. When the Cubs clinched the division in '84, they did it in Pittsburgh. Rick Sutcliffe threw a two-hitter, and the Cubs won that game 4-1. Right now, the Pirates are leading the Cardinals 4-1. A Pittsburgh victory would mean the Cubs have clinched at least a tie, and that, coupled with a Cub victory tonight, would clinch the division for the Cubs.
Now, Wallach does not have a sacrifice, but he did talk with Jackie Moore. decides to try to lay one down. He's got 42 doubles this year, a whopping total.
He leads the league in that department, as you might expect. The pitch is a ball. Some of those would have been triples for other players. He has no triples. 1 ball, no strikes. Wallach has been playing with a bad knee. He missed a few games because of that. Maddox trying to get the first out of the 6th. And the pitch misses. 2-0. There it is, a final. A final from Pittsburgh. The Pirates have beaten the Cardinals 4-1, and the Cubs have clinched at least a tie. And now, if we're to celebrate tonight in Montreal, it's purely in the hands of the Cubs as they try to handle the Expos. The Pirates have beaten the Cardinals 4-1.
Todd Zeile hit into a double play to end that ball game, and the magic number is now 1.
And a tap foul. So the count 2-1. There's something about that 4-1 score in Pittsburgh that the Cubs like. They used that score to clinch in '84 over Pittsburgh, and the Pirates have beaten the Cardinals tonight in Pittsburgh 4-1 to give the Cubs at least a tie.
They're going to like it a lot more when they put it up on the board, and everybody in the dugout gets a look at it, as well as all the Cubs fans in attendance.
So the count, 2 balls and a strike on Tim Wallach. Arnie has just told our cameraman down there, and he's running over to Zim, so they know. They're aware of that score by now. He's concerned trying to get the Cubs through the 6th now with a 2-1 lead. Runners are going. The pitch bounced toward third. Salazar 1 play to first, and the runners advance. So the Expos, by starting Brooks off first and Galarraga off second base, stay away from a possible double play. Wallach out third to first.
I would think you'd walk Foley in this situation, take your chances on a double play with Santavania. Foley's been so tough against the Cubs in this series that they're not going to take a chance with him.
He will get the intentional walk, the first given up by the Cub right-hander Greg Maddux tonight. So Foley, who hit a home run last night, had a couple hits, 2 runs scored, a couple runs batted in. Will not get a chance to swing the bat in this situation. And the Expo bullpen will go to work. Rich Thompson's going to start to throw, as Nelson Santavania is the 7th hitter in the Expo lineup. So they're down toward the bottom end of the order, and Thompson starts to loosen.
And how about this one? Bob Patterson, 4-2 this year, went 8 innings against St. Louis. Bill Landrum coming on, picks up the save. Ken Hill was the loser. Landrum, save number 26.
Here, Maddux faces the bases loaded with 1 out. And Santavania, he's been on twice with a single, reached on an error his last time. Hitting .248 for the year. There's a ball. 1-0 the count.
Maddux just not throwing the ball the same way he threw it in the early innings. Starting to try to aim it. When you do that, it's very difficult to throw strikes.
1 ball, no strikes. So he's behind in the count, 2-0. Grissom opened with the infield hit and has scored. The Expos have Galarraga at third, Brooks at second, Foley at first with 1 out.
Santavania, who hit the sacrifice fly in the 9th inning to tie up the ball game last night.
Foul ball. The count is 2-1. 3 straight hits open the inning. Cubs put together 3 hits in the top of the frame. But a double play got Martinez out of that inning. Maddox hoping for the same here in the bottom of the 6th. Pennsylvania steps out. Spike Owen is on deck. It's even 6 apiece. Cubs have been charged with the only error of the game. 2-1. Fly ball into left center field. Well tagged. Went on the run to make the catch. Here's the tag by Galarraga at third. He will score, and this game is tied. Delivered the sacrifice fly last night in the 9th inning, delivers one tonight in the 6th. That's his 31st run batted in.
Maddox got the ball out over the plate again, and Nelson Santavania gave it a long ride. A fine play by Marvell Wynn. So Santavania doing the job once again, and the Cubs see their 2-run lead go by the boards.
The other runners hold. Brooks at second and Foley at first. Here's Spike Owen. Owen officially 0 for 2. And the breaking ball misses. Down and in. Both bullpens busy.
Rich Thompson up.
A ball, no strikes. Thompson's been up quite a while in the Expo bullpen. Ossenmacher and Wilkins have been up for quite a while in the Cub bullpen. Matter of fact, they've stopped throwing and now are watching the proceedings. A ball, no strikes. Dennis Martinez on deck, but with that bullpen busy. He may or may not be around very long, depending upon what Maddox does here with Owen. And he pops him up. It's a foul ball, now back fair, and Salazar makes the catch to retire the side. But the Expos score a couple on 3 hits. They leave 2. We're through 6. Harry will be back in a moment. This game is tied 2-2.
Hello again, everybody, with Dwayne Stats and Steve Stone. Harry Carey back in Montreal, where the Cubs have already reduced their magic number to 1. A victory ends it all. Here's Salazar to lead it off. The game is tied 2-2. They posted up the Pirate victory. Left-hander Bob Patterson held the Cardinals to only 4 hits. Landrum got the save. There's a curveball in there, a strike call.
Martinez seemed to have lost that curveball in the 6th inning, but that was a dandy to Salazar here to lead off the 7th.
The Cubs are already guaranteed no worse than a tie. There is no way they lose this thing in regular season. The only way they could lose it would be if they lost all the rest of their games, and the Cardinals could win all the rest of their games, and that would necessitate a playoff next Monday. Here's strike 3 call. Boy, he has got a wicked curveball.
Every time he drops down from the side, he seems to mystify the Cub hitters. That wasn't a particularly good curveball, but it froze Salazar. He couldn't pull the trigger. It was right over the middle of the plate.
That's his 6th strikeout. For Martinez is going for his 17th victory of the year. 2-2 tie. Each team with 6 hits. Here's Dunston. The pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. All the Cub fans pulling for this one. And so are the Cubs pulling for it. There's a drive. It's going to be caught. Dunston flies out to Grissom in center. To gone.
Any way you can get this over, you know the Cubs would be very happy, but they certainly would like to end it themselves on a victory. It's all well and good to see St. Louis lose a couple of games, and of course if they lose tomorrow to Pittsburgh, that would end it. The Cubs would like to celebrate here tonight by beating the Expos themselves.
I know they prefer that, but I don't think they really care how they win it. Just so they win it. Now the pitch, here it is. A strike call over the outside corner. Rick Rona started the scoring with a 2-out triple that scored Sean Dunston in the 2nd. The other run was scored by Ryan Sandberg, who doubled and scored on Dwight Smith's bloop single to left. Another curve in there for a strike call. 0-2. 25-year-old Rick Rona. 2 men out, nobody on. We're in the 7th. Hey, it hit Dutch Leonard. They hit him in the arm. The catcher, Santavenia, may have even been crossed up on the pitch. I think Leonard got a hit on the left arm at the elbow. The crazy bone is the word.
Ron McClain, the trainer for the Expos, out to have a look at Dutch Leonard.
Dutch Leonard out of Oshkosh by Gush. They're tied up 2-2, 2 out, with the Cubs' magic number already reduced to 1 as a result of Pittsburgh's victory over the Cardinals.
This inside fastball gets away. Santavenia deflects it right into the elbow of Dutch Leonard.
It's unusual to see Dennis Martinez that wild on a pitch. You notice where Santavenia was set up?
Dutch doesn't have to do any pitching. I think he's going to be okay.
He's all right. Rick Rona. Ready to step back in the batter's box. Dutch Leonard got his sore elbow. Rona, who's 4 out of 10 against the pitching of the Expos this year. And the Cub fans cheer every time they put that Pittsburgh victory on the scoreboard. There's a shot right to Walling, who throws the first for the out. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. We go into the bottom of the 7th, all tied up at 2.
Later tonight on Channel 9, a mother begins her own war on drugs when her son becomes involved with those dangerous substances. Don't miss Gene Stapleton in Angel Dusted tonight at 11:30 on Chicago's very own Channel 9.
We go into the bottom of the 7th. Dennis Martinez will lead it off. Score tied 2-2. The Cubs' magic numbers down to 1. They have to win tonight to clinch it. Otherwise, they have to wait till tomorrow. There's a foul ball outside third.
Dennis Martinez was probably saved his life in this game by Nelson Santavena, who once again, for the second time in 2 nights, hit a sacrifice fly. Both nights tying up the score.
0-1 the count. Tim Raines on deck. Swung and he missed the curveball a foot. 0-2.
Giving Dennis Martinez a taste of his own medicine with that big breaking curveball.
Martinez from Nicaragua. Fastball inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 7th, tied up 2-2. And what the Cubs hope will be the division clincher. They got to win this game to clinch it tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Struck him out. 1 away. That's a 6th strikeout for Maddox.
Martinez had a word with Tim Raines, perhaps about that hard breaking slider that Martinez saw to strike out.
Nobody on. If Maddox wins his 19th tonight, he'll be only 1 behind the leader, Mike Scott of Houston. Maddox will have the 2nd highest number of victories. Joe McGrain of the Cardinals goes for his 19th tomorrow. Scott, the only National League pitcher to have won 20. There's a strike call. A ball on the strike. Tim Raines, 30-year-old outfielder.
He was hitting in the number 4 spot in the batting order, but Buck Rogers decided he's more valuable as a leadoff hitter, even though he's got right-handers and not many left-handers to break him up.
There's a pitch high, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. There's a high pop fly going out. Sandberg calling for the ball. He makes the catch. He's playing in his 86th straight errorless game.
This is a good straight change by Maddox. And the last 2 times he's retired Raines, he's done it with a straight change. He gets Raines out on the front foot. He can't keep his hands back and can't get much into the swing.
Maddox will lead it off in the 8th. Then we have the top of the batting order. 2 out, nobody on. Marquise Grissom takes a pitch a little bit outside.
It was his little infield tap that started things off in the 6th inning. He beat out a ground ball. Maddox made a fine play, but couldn't get him because of the great speed of Grissom.
1 ball, no strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Low and outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strike. Jackie Moore coaching down at third base. There's a pitch, a drive in the center will be caught to retire the side. Grissom flies to win. 1, 2, 3. At the end of 7, we're tied at 2. Harry Carey back in Montreal. Here's Greg Maddux. It would be poetic justice if he scored the winning run of this ball game. He's 0 for 2. He takes the curveball inside. Mannix hitting .218 as a hitter with 17 hits, most of any Cub pitcher. 1 ball, no strikes. That evens it up, a ball and a strike.
Playing Maddox well around toward right center field. If he does get the base hit, it's likely to be that way. He loves to chop down on it, and he might get one of those infield choppers.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Owens throws and one out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has a right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
1 out. And here is Marvell Wynn. They've stopped him cold. What a spot they hit one out of here. The pitch. It's in there, a strike call. Martinez, really a great fine pitcher. He's given up 21 home runs. Now the pitch. Swung and he missed. Wynn was 0 for 5 yesterday. 0 for 3 today. Oh, and 2 the count.
This game doesn't mean much to the men you're looking at in the Montreal dugout.
High pop foul out of play. 0 and 2. Well, let's see who's going to get hold of one.
Right,
down
almost
to the nitty-gritty time. A run now could be mighty big.
Sandberg almost hit one out of the ballpark in the 6th inning, hitting it high off the wall over the head of Tim Raines. You look at Brendan Smith.
0 and 2 the count. He struck him out. Boy, he doesn't show any signs of tiring. And Martinez, during the course of the year, has only pitched 4 complete games. Here's Sandberg. He doubled and scored in the 6th when Smith followed with a base hit to left. 2 out, nobody on.
Big play of the game so far was an inside fastball Martinez threw to Andre Dawson in the 6th inning. He didn't mean to swing. He broke his bat and grounded into a double play.
There's the curve low. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 out. Curve a little bit inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out. There's Rick Sutcliffe. Two balls, no strikes. 2 out, nobody on. DeCenzo. Base hit left field. Sandberg keeps it alive. And here's Dwight Smith. He singled in a run in the 6th on a pop fly to short left. And with a good base runner to first with 2 out, any kind of an extra base hit, Sandberg would have a chance to score. Dwight Smith with 2 out of 3 so far tonight.
Ryan Sandberg has his batting average up over 290 at 291.
Sandberg with 14 stolen bases. There's a curveball in there, a strike call. Won the count. Cubs about hit them 7-6. side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sandberg with 2 out of 4.
Santavanius had to make 1 throw, and he cut down Sean Dunston on a great throw in the 5th inning.
Sandberg has only 1 run scored behind Will Clark for the National League lead. There he goes. There's a drive in the right field. He's on his way to third. There's fumble now. Here he comes. He's going to try to score. Save! Save! The Cubs have taken the lead. Hubie Brooks fumbled a base hit. And the Cubs are out in front. Fine coaching by Chuck Cartier, who kept Sandberg running. And look at the Cub dugout. What a great year for Rhino.
As soon as he saw that Hubie Brooks juggled the ball, he just kept him going. And they decided to gamble. We'll watch it again. Sandberg looks to be content at third base on the hit and run, but Brooks bobbles it. And here comes Sandberg. The relay, not in time. The throw high, and he scores. Tom Foley making a throw. It's off the mark.
Now they're going to walk. They're going to walk Grace. Watch here. Now he just nonchalants his ball, and it pops out of his glove. And that enables the Cubs to take the lead. Grace now is being intentionally passed, and that will bring Andre Dawson. And that would be just like the Hawk to make him rue this bit of strategy.
9th error of the year for Hubie Brooks, and probably none bigger.
Sandberg now is tied for the National League lead in runs scored, with Will Clark, each with 103. All right, here is Andre Dawson. Will Clark 103, Sandberg 103. And runs scored. And Andre Dawson can clinch it right here. The Cubs are leading 3-2. A victory means they're the champions of the Eastern Division. The Cub fans making themselves heard. The pitch to Dawson. Inside, ball 1. Dawson's been an easy out 3 times in a row. The last time into a double play. He tried to check his swing, tapped the ball softly to Martinez, who whirled and started a double play, 1-6-3. There you see Ryan Sandberg. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out.
And this is what you're looking for, the pitcher with a good curveball falling behind and having to come with Andre Dawson.
There's Lloyd McLendon. 2 balls, no strikes. Salazar would be next. Runners first and second. He had a cut, but he missed.
Martinez decided not to go with the fastball, a wise choice. He threw the straight change and surprised Andre.
Dawson hitting under 180 against the Expos, but of his 9 hits for the year, 3 have been home runs. There's Greg Maddox going for number 19 tonight. Ground ball to the shortstop. He's got it. Throws to first, and that ends the inning. But the Cubs have taken the lead. 1 run on 2 hits and an error. 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs are out in front, 3-2. Harry Carey back in Montreal. We go into the bottom of the 8th. Here's Galarraga. Fan the first 2 times singled when they got their 2 runs in the 6th. He leads it off. 22 homers, as you see, 84 RBI. 3-2 Cubs. Strike call.
Williams and Pico up in the bullpen, getting ready in case Maddox needs some help.
Maddox has given up 6 hits. 3-2 in favor of the Cubs. If they hold it, it's all over. This is a clincher. The Cardinals already have lost. The magic number right now is 1. A victory makes it no magic number. The Cubs, Eastern Division champion. There you get a look at the dugout. There's Yoshikawa even looking a little nervous. There's the pitch. A high drive going in the right field. It is a foul ball. Jerome Morgan sitting next to Paul Kilgus.
This has been a very loose club all year. They've seemed impervious to pressure. They've come back and won all the big games. Every time you started to think that they might be ready for a slide, they've come back with a great effort.
Galarraga in the hole, 0-2. Bottom of the 8th. Hold everything. The pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They want to see the baseball.
It's a gamble at this point to go inside on Galarraga. You can get him out up and in, throw the fastball consistently by him. Probably the best spot for Maddox is to try that slider or fastball away out of the strike zone. Galarraga gets in streaks where he swings at everything.
23-year-old Greg Maddox. Fouls it out of play again into the right field stands. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Line drive right at Sandberg, 1 away. Sandberg going for number 86 consecutive game without an error. Here's Hubie Brooks being booed.
Fans here not too happy with the play of Hubie Brooks in the 9th inning.
There's a line drive on the replay right at Sandberg. There's Paul Assenmacher. Brooks swings and he misses. They're not very happy here. The natives are restless in Montreal. 1 out.
Joe Altobelli positioning Mark Grace a little closer to the line at first.
There's a pitch a little outside. That evens the count. A ball to the strike. Cubs with 8 hits, 3 runs. The Expos 6 hits, 2 runs. Hayes swung and he missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out.
One of the big stories of this year, Mike Bilecki putting together a dream season.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. A bouncing ball. Sandberg has it. Over to first. 2 away. Oh, you want him to hit everyone to Sandberg. There's Domingo Ramos. 2 gone. And here's Wallach, and be careful here. Wallach 0 for 3 tonight. Bilecki will shoot for his 18th victory tomorrow night. There's a pitch a little bit outside. There's Jerome Walton from Newnan, Georgia. 1 ball, no strikes. Bouncing ball ought to be easy to throw. 1, 2, 3. Nothing across. At the end of 8, the Cubs lead 3-2. Carey and Steve Stone back in Montreal. We go into the ninth. Cubs are leading 3-2. This is it. They hold that lead. They've won another division title. They're second in the last 5 years. Here's Salazar to lead it off. Curveball outside. Boy, they've had to beat a tough, little pitcher out there, and Dennis Martinez so far tonight.
They would dearly love another insurance run here to give Maddox some daylight.
Salazar gets out of the way. I don't know. I don't believe Dennis Martinez likes Salazar.
He's thrown a lot of pitches up and in, a couple of fastballs. That was a curveball. And the only time Martinez has gotten hurt at all tonight has been when he's fallen behind hitters. And he's behind Salazar now 2-0.
2 balls, no strikes. There's a high fly ball. Grissom in center field. 1 out. And here's Dunston. He's 1 out of 3. Scored a run in the second when he was driven in by Rick Rona, who tripled. Don't go away, folks.
I gotta go away, Harry. I've got to get down in the locker room.
I don't care about you. I mean the people. I want them to see all that we got planned for them. 1 out, nobody on. The pitch. There's foul out of play. 0-1. There's Mark Grace. What a year he's had. Hitting .312. In among the best top 5 hitters of the league. Actually is 4th. Clark leads by 2 over Gwynn. Lonnie Smith hitting .317. Mark Grace, .312. There's a strike call. 0-2. There's Les Lancaster. What a job he has done since being called up when Pat Perry went on the disabled list. I tell you, there's so many heroes on this ball club. It's really a team. It really and truly is a team victory. There's a pitch outside.
You know, you look at these guys, Harry, and you write them down with the other teams in the league, and you look at the talent, and you say to yourself, Cubs can't contend. And then you put them all together as a team, and not only can they contend, but they've dominated their division all season.
And you cannot say enough about Don Zimmer for creating this feeling, the esprit de corps, the charisma, whatever you want to, what word you want to use, whatever it is they have. It had to stem from the top, and it wasn't easy. I think the big thing he did was convincing everybody that this is a we game, not an I game. Here's a bouncing ball. Foley ought to throw him out. Close! He's out. I don't know. It looked like he beat it out. 2 gone.
Very close at first base. Foley ranging far to his left. Makes a good solid throw. Dunston.
They got him.
Looked like they got him. Paul Runge making the call.
About a quarter of a step. 2 men are out. Here's Rick Rona. You cannot say enough for the young catchers and the marvelous, in fact, remarkable job they've both done. You might as well say all 3 young catchers, because Damon Berryhill was off to a great start, hitting the ball and throwing the ball. Unfortunately, was disabled and won't play until next year. There's a curveball in there. 1-1. Where's Yosh? Where's Yosh?
Now, Harry, when I go down there and you're going to do the 9th, I want you to hold him right there.
Don't worry about it. Never fear, Harry's here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. The pitch. Ground ball. Owen throws to first. 1, 2, 3. We go into the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs 3 outs away from winning the division title.
Okay. You smile, dog breath. You're on Camden Camp.
Harry Carey back in Montreal. We're going into the bottom of the ninth. The Cubs lead 3-2. The Cardinals already have been beaten. The victory means it's all over, and the Cubs are the champs of their division. Here's Tom Foley to lead it off. Steve Stone and Dan Rowan are all down in the clubhouse already. So stay with us. You're gonna see all the action and all the fun. Here's Foley. The pitch. There's a strike call. Get this guy out. There's the, look at that. There is Dwight Smith that's sitting next to Jerome Walton. Remember, Foley got the hit in the ninth inning that led to the tying run last night, and they won in the 10th. So get this guy out. There's Scott Sanderson. To his left, Mike Bilecki. 1 ball, 1 strike. There it is. That's what he did last night. A single to right. And Foley. Boy, we can't get him out. He is now 11 out of 29 against the Cub pitching. For against the league, he's only 228. The tying run is on at first base. They'll probably use Otis Nixon to run, or Rex Hudler to run for Tom Foley. It's Hudler, I think. No, there's Otis Nixon. Otis Nixon coming out. He stole second last night to get in scoring position. Rick Rona behind the plate. Now ready. Nelson Santovenia, who drove in a tying run in the 6th on a sacrifice fly. He throws over the first runner back. Joe Girardi warming up in the bullpen.
Is this you? Yeah, that's him. You want to go where?
Doug DeCenzo's in left field. Wins in the center. Dawson in right. There's a toss, the runner back. Cubs lead 3-2. 3 outs away. But the Expos have the tying run at first. Tom Foley, Otis Nixon running for Tom Foley, who got the hit. Now here comes Girardi in to replace Rick Rona. Girardi is going to replace Rick Rona. They think Girardi has a slightly better throwing arm. And Rona gets a nice hand as he reaches a dugout from all of his teammates. Otis Nixon has swiped 36 bases. He's been thrown out 12 times. Lead by Nixon. Pitch out, not going anywhere. Or watch the lead Nixon gets. That time it looked like he had both feet on the carpet. Got the front foot on there. There's a strike call. A ball and a strike. Boy, what I'd like to see is a ground ball to either Dunston or Sandberg. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nixon a lead. He started a throw, but he had stepped off the rubber. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nixon the lead. The ball is bunted. The only play is first base. They tag Santavena. The tying run at second with 1 out. And here is Spiko and Duda be the hitter. But we're going to have a pitch hitter. There you look in the Cub dugout. Joe Altobelli checking the score sheet. Maddox. Johnson may be the hitter. And that's who it is. Wallace Johnson hitting .277 as a pinch hitter, 14 out of 57. He's a switch hitter. He's hit .301 left-handed, only .158 right-handed. So he is a better hitter from the left side. He's out of Gary, Indiana. And here comes Don Zimmer out. See how slowly. He hasn't made a motion yet. How do you feel? I think was his first question. You could almost lip read Greg Maddox said, I'm all right. He wants Maddox going for his 19th victory. And we're going to have a new pitcher. Mitch Williams will be coming in. And we'll be back following this message.
Now, when two lovers woo,
Strap this on.
they should say, I love you.
I hate you.
Are you as turned on as I am?
More.
But on this, you can rely.
Mr. Malone has his brains caught in his zipper.
Sam and Diane make sparks fly. Some things only get better as time goes by. Cheers. Play it again, Sam.
Aren't they a wonderful couple?
Weeknights at 6 on Channel 9.
Cubs fans, mark your calendar for January 26th through January 28th, 1990, as those are the dates for the 5th Annual Cubs Convention. This festive weekend will feature player autograph and photograph booths, question and answer sessions with Cubs players and executives, hitting clinics, souvenir stands, batting cages, and much more. Be sure you're included in all the fun. To make your reservations, call the Cubs Convention Hotline at 312-951-CUBS.
This is Mitch Williams. He's trying for his 36th save. He gave up the game-winning hit. The defeat was charged to Scott Sanderson last night. He'll be facing Wallace Johnson. We gave you the stat on Johnson. A much better hitter left-handed. And that's probably why Zimmer brought in the left-hander to force Johnson to bat right-handed. Out of Gary, Indiana, Wallace Johnson. Pulled everything. 2 outs from the division title. But the tying runs at second. Wait, they're bringing... Wait a minute now. They made a mistake. Fitzgerald walked up there. Had they already announced? Had they announced Johnson? Wallace Johnson's a hitter. I don't know what Mike Fitzgerald was doing, but they call him back because I think Johnson already been announced as a pinch hitter. 2 home runs. He whirls, does Mitch Williams, but no play.
Yeah, well, here we go.
The slider a little bit low, ball 1. You got to worry about wild pitches. He's made 6 of them, Mitch. He's been charged with 4 balks. He had a cut, he missed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Johnson, 31 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers. He fouls it back. He's ahead of him. 1 and 2. Wallace Johnson batting for Spike Owen. The crowd quiet. Look at the Cub. He whirled again. Look at that Cub dugout. You can see the tension. Look at Les Lancaster. Time call. Dan Rowan and Steve Stone already in the clubhouse. They're beating the players in, naturally. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He fouls it back. And boy, I tell you, Nixon, I think had third base stolen. Fortunately, Johnson swung and fouled it back. You see now, it's paramount that they don't weaken their defense by trying to hold Nixon close to second. They don't want to give him an added expanse of territory to hit through. But Sean Dunston is trying to hold him as close as he possibly can. The pitch. Almost threw it away. Johnson's only fanned 12 times. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3. 3 and 2. 1 out. The tying run at second. Again, he fouls it back. He had a good rip. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's gearing himself up for fastball. There's Rick Sutcliffe, Les Lancaster, Paul Ossenmacher. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He whirls, no play. Otis Nixon, the runner at second. Three balls, 2 strikes, a pitch. There's a high pop fly. Sandberg's there, makes the catch in short right. And here he comes running back into the infield. Only one out to go. Boy, if you've got a weak heart, turn the set off. The rest of you stay with us. Go Cubs, go. They're not going anywhere but the dressing room. 2 men are out. Sandberg, his 86th straight errorless game, took care of Wallace Johnson's pop fly. Mike Fitzgerald would be the pinch hitter. The pitch. He fouls it back. Fitzgerald is batting .240. As a pinch hitter, he's 3 out of 8. 1 strikes the count. Mitch Williams going for his 36th save. Look at that dugout. Nobody can sit down. 0-1. There he goes, stealing third. He swings and he misses. And Girardi, knowing that Nixon had a good lead, didn't make a play. Now he's got to be careful of the wild pitch. 0-2 the count. 1 strike away from the division title. Look at that dugout. Everybody's on their feet. All the Cub fans are on their feet. 0-2 the count. A little low, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. The tying run at third. Hold everything. The beads as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Hey, Cubs win the division. Cubs win the division. Cubs win the division. Fitzgerald is out on strike. Look at that scene on the field. And underneath all that humanity is Mitch Williams. You talk about a mass of happy humanity. Paul Kilgus, Mitch Williams. Fitzgerald struck out. Watch his reaction on the strikeout. Now they give it to him. Hey, look at that. Look at that. You think he's a happy young man? Look at Kilgus and Mark Grace. You'll see them all in a moment. On the other side of the field, there is the Expos dugout. They are not very happy. What's that? The ecstasy of victory and the agony of defeat. Let's watch it again. Watch him. Watch this. He just won the high jump championship. There's a scene for you. Watch the bench before. There they go. They know he's out on strike. Look at that. Beautiful camera work. Beautiful television, Artie, and your crew. All right, let's switch down to Steve, who's in the dressing room for a moment.
Harry, they're just about ready to come in. They're battening down the hatches here in the locker room. They're going to go crazy in just a minute. Still everything happening on the field. Now they're starting to filter in. This is a tension-filled locker room before that last pitch. Right now, they're standing around with nobody here waiting for the onslaught. And the champagne is just coming out, Arnie.
All right.
Okay, take it back, Harry, and come on back a little later.
We'll be there for a long time. You see, we'll be back with the highlights following this message. You're looking in the clubhouse right now. There's Dwight Smith. All right, here's the Budweiser play of the game. This is the play that clinched the division title for the Cubs. Mike Fitzgerald went around for strike 3. And that's that. The Budweiser play of the game, the totals quickly. For the Cubs, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Greg Maddux, the winner, he now is 119 and lost 12. Mitch Williams got the save, his 36th of the year. For the Expos, 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. The loser, Dennis Martinez, he now is 116 and lost 7. I'm going to go downstairs too. See you from there. So long, everybody. Stay tuned for the post-game show in the dugout in the clubhouse in a moment. Our next telecast will be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Chicago time. The Cubs take on the Montreal Expos here on Channel 9. Our executive producer director, Artie Harris. Final score, the Cubs win their division. Harry Carey from Montreal. So long, everybody.